Right, we're here. Cadwell Park. It is raining. Expected it to be raining. Rank now to go and find Dan and Paul. They may already be queuing up for the stage, but we'll see, won't we?
Good morning, sir.
How you doing, mate?
How you doing? Hello, Gary.
Matrix. How you doing? How you doing?
Direction for the first two stages.
Yeah.
The first four stages,
Just moving to try and get into a good vantage point, ready for them to come down on their first lap, number 23. So, should be good. Just watching a few come through now. We're down at Hall Bends for the start. So I think that behind me was actually a chicane at the beginning of the stage, but now someone smacked it out of the way. It's a straight.
No, it's gone a bit quiet on the way. I just want to win someone that wants something there.
Time for some food. Bacon baps. Oops.
your key.
How long are you gonna wait for?
People are still rushing about in these quiet.
So Paul and Dan have just gone for the second stage to get ready for the second stage. I think the last few cars for the first stage are finishing up now. There's about 40 minutes for Paul and Dan between like getting back from a stage and starting a new stage. Stage 2 is a repeat of the first stage, where they're doing, I think it's 2 or 3 reverse laps of Cadwell Park with some chicanes and a little bit of usage of the paddock at the top of the mountain. So we're going to try and take up a spot somewhere near the mountain. We're just walking down it now, pretty much. Fantastic. Cars just out for stage 2. We stood at the bottom of the mountain where we can see both sides of the track, just here. In the bottom of the valley, absolutely loving it. Miss that sound. Seen bikes since the end of COVID, but I don't think I've been to the track for any cars. So to do it at a rally, especially a rally that a friend is taking part in, is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and especially to share it with Mrs. R and her lad. Yeah, cold though, cold.
Tom Hutchins. So, yeah, Paul Monroe, Karen Escort then, Martin Hodgson and Tony Just 7. And Darryl Taylor and Thomas in 6th overall.
He's giving it beat.
Yeah,
He was right out. That's stage 2 done for Paul and Dan. Let's just see them come down the mountain real quick. Just random cars. So we're going to go back up towards service and have a little chat with him and see how the stage went for him. It stopped raining, so they were saying over the tannoy how much faster all cars were basically, but the leader went something like 40 seconds quicker. So they're doing basically 3 circulations, I've just counted, of the circuit on the stage. So the next one, I think they're reversing it, and then they're going to do that twice, and then it's lunch break. So we're just going back up the mountain now, and yeah, we'll get their reaction as they get into service.
Starts the same, through the bends, up through the complex, that's fine, into that bit, up there, but instead of going around here, it goes hairpin left and then up through the infield, and then tight 90 left.
Yeah.
Which is that's where Paul rolled a couple of years ago. He hit a tractor tyre on the inside, with the back wheel, and rolled him over. No, so we'll not be doing that. You hit a tyre on that last one, I was bollocking him for it.
So is it once left and then once right?
No, it'll be, so it goes left, so you see me splits up here.
All right,
left, left, right.
All right.
So split left, come round, all the same.
Yeah.
And then again, split left, and then on the final lap you split right and go up here and run the track in the correct direction and come into flying finish.
Cool. We'll try and stand up here then.
You'll see it'll be tricky up there because that link road's, I think it's a bit gravelly as well.
Yeah, it's only used really for this. So.
But that bit there later on.
What are you using down there? That's like a path.
It's like that. Forward and then slot your bum into the seat.
Far back, aren't you? Do you want to get a picture of him in there? I don't know, it's your phone.
These, which are 3-layer Nomex, so these are the 3-layer fireproof. This is fireproof as well, so that's thick. And I'm a hairy kid, so I was hot.
You weren't wearing your bubble out though, was you?
No. But honestly, come at the end of the stage and you're like sweat in my eyes and all sorts. I always take 2 balaclavas with us as well, just because you can dry one out.
Yeah.
I just noticed a very funny thing on this car that I'd never noticed before. The world's smallest battery. I don't know why I just noticed that. Normally car batteries are much bigger, but I just noticed that. It's tiny. And also, another thing that I'll explain, even though I've just had a big conversation about it, is the wheels. So these have still got actually a bit of residual warmth in them from the stage, and the stage was, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago now, and a lot of people don't really realise that in all forms of motorsport really, that the wheels radiate loads of heat to the tyres and provide grip and things like that, and it's from the brake rotors heating up and then radiating the heat out into the wheel rim and then into the tyre. And it's just interesting that being stood here now, it's a cold day, it is a cold day, probably like 5 degrees or something, that 20 minutes, half an hour ago the stage finished and the wheel still has some residual heat, so that gives you some idea of how hot they get, and also think about F1 and things like that and how hot they get. Later on it'll be super cool if we can get some maybe some glowing brake rotors, but we'll see. Something else as well which is super nerdy, which is super nerdy, are the wheels. So Team Dynamics wheels And some of you might know Team Dynamics from British Touring Car. Team Dynamics Motorsport wheel rims on this car, and that is what the business is for the British Touring Car team. I just thought I'd point that out because it was a nerdy fact that I pointed out to Mrs. R, and she sort of cringed at me a little bit, but there you go, random fact. On stage 3, oh, someone giving it beans next to us, someone giving it the absolute beans. So we've come down to the bottom of, we're going to go to the bottom of the gooseneck at the bottom of the hill there, because they're using like an access road to go back up and join this track. So yeah, you'll see, but it should be a good viewing space. We should see the most of the cars from here, having checked the route with Dan the Man. So fantastic stuff. Sun's out, it's still pretty chilly, but good day being had so far. No, not them just yet. Number 23. There he is. Beautiful line. He had some lights in the second apex, but it was lovely. Nice one. Nice through the chicane, and he hasn't got the traffic in front of him for the final circulation either, so he might be able to jump on it a little more. Let's see if we can get him around the top of the hill. So that's a bit of a handful on that left up at the top there. That's stage 3 wrapped for them. It looked pretty successful, but they were stuck behind. They seemed to be behind a car on every lap, so I hope it didn't compromise them too much. On the final lap, they looked really close behind someone, so you've got the cars coming onto the stage, merging at the hairpin at the end of Hall Bends. You can look that up, or I might include it so you've got an idea where that is. And then they leave the track at the top of the hill. I've forgotten what the corner is, but after the straight, basically on this stage they're using an access road that's at the bottom of the gooseneck, and when they come up onto what is the back straight at Cadwell, they're doing left, right, and then on that right turn, that's where they hammer it up to the top end of the circuit, and then they leave the circuit as well, and that's the end of the timing loop sort of thing. So for maybe half of a circulation, they may get stuck behind an other car basically, and I think they both got unlucky there. With each time they came round, I think someone merged on in front of them basically. They passed one, but then they got stuck behind another until he did his right turn basically. So I think it looked like they had pace on this stage. Actually, I think they've had a good one, even though I think they got a little bit stuck, shall we say. So this part of the stage, which you can see behind me, isn't actually part of the Cadwell Park circuit normally. So what you're seeing behind me is actually the left-hand bend at the bottom of the Gooseneck Hill, but they're using like an access road. And what they do is go up that hill, and for 2 laps they turn left, and then for 1 lap they turn right, and that's the end of the stage. So they're doing like, what's that, like 2.5 circulations of the track, and as you can see maybe behind me, some might be turning left, some might be turning right, and it's actually quite a good space to watch from. 2 of the stages today are going to be in the dark. I'm a little bit worried at whether my GoPro is going to work at that time because they're not great in low light conditions. But this is going to be a great place to spectate from if they're doing the stages through here, because I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll be able to see some brake rotors glowing, exhaust glowing, flame spitting, and all that good stuff, the stuff we love to see, you know. So I'm going to check with Dan after this stage the routes for this evening, and if they're coming through here, I think this is where I'm going to watch from into the early evening, because it'd be fantastic to see some of that stuff glowing, you know. Don't know how visible that is on the video, but it's definitely dark clouds behind us, and they're coming over us now. So, big issue down into the chicane down there. Peugeot went round the side, and that Escort earlier on is the one who took out the hay bale that became the chicane that became a straight. So I think it's just generally being a barrier at the minute. I don't think he's having a great day, the lad. But Paul and Dan will be back through shortly. There's some beautifully prepared cars. There really is. There's such a range of vehicles. There come Paul and Dan again. Lovely through there. Nice and tidy. Rear left slightly off the floor there, taking the left. Nice and neat, love it. I think you lost a little bit of grip at the top left there. From my uneducated spectator's vantage, there's totally a dry line now, all round. Even during this stage, way more of a dry line has developed. And it's spitting. It's definitely spitting, according to Mrs. Air. It's spitting. Oh, I just felt some, so it's definitely spitting. It's not enough to bother them, I don't think, yet. It'd have to be quite a more, you know, more substantial for it to bother them. But we've definitely got some very dark clouds coming in. Fiesta this time, so they didn't get merged on quite as badly. Nice slide through there, nice and neat, taking the right this time. Looks nice and neat again. Lovely. From our perspective, he looked nice and neat and quick this time. So that's stage... Is that stage 4? Stage 4? Yeah. Stage 4. Done. And looked a successful one. Hopefully they were happy, and hopefully it don't rain. Hopefully they can stay on those soft tyres moving forward. It'll be interesting into the evening though, just because it's going to get colder and stuff. What happens? Needed. It is Baltic, mate. It is freezing. How long? Like, you know, if it's dry and blah blah blah, how long do a set of slicks last on it?
Not long. I mean, we went out yesterday. I mean, they were worn, but these are what these are a medium compound.
Yeah.
And you can see that we're getting very hot.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and that was
Marbles and graining and bits.
And they're a harder compound than them, but the temperature yesterday was a bit warmer.
It was warmer yesterday, right? Yeah.
And we only did what? I mean, they weren't brand new when we got them, but we did about 15 laps on them.
Yeah.
Probably 10 at full chat. So.
Yeah. So the Micra that is based just next door to Paul and Dan here. It seems like they've had a rather unfortunate incident, which is their drive shaft has snapped or shattered within the gearbox. So on a front wheel drive car like this Micra with a tuned engine, basically if the front wheel leaves the ground and they keep it pinned and keep it spinning, which they're going to do, you know, maybe on a curb it lifts up and things like that, and then it lands. Obviously there's a difference in speed with the wheel spinning and it hitting the floor, and then that creates, I guess, like a torque or something. Maybe someone can correct me. And then it just shears the drive shaft basically. But the problem that they've got is that it appears to have done that inside the gearbox, not externally of the gearbox. So they're in a fight against time now to get it sorted within service. I think they've got about 40 minutes because it is actually lunchtime. So in one way they're lucky, but yeah, it's not ideal circumstances for them. Bless them. But
On your name.
tried to take a picture of it. You can literally see the drive shaft sheared inside, and it's really deep. They're trying to put like a massive screwdriver or something through it and smack it through, because it's yeah, that's sheared, all right. Just in the clubhouse, and I didn't realise it had a fully stocked bar as well. Just here, but there's pictures all around the place of the different historical racing that's happened here. But what I was actually really surprised to see was pictures of Giacomo Agostini from racing here and stuff. It's super cool. The history of this place, and they've got a big picture of the first ever program from 1934 here and stuff. Getting ready for the night stage is now, and the cluster of lights on the front there, and what they can also fit are the single lights over here, and these go into the bottom corners, but they're not fitting them, and those actually point sort of diagonally out from the car to sort of point into the corners, so that as they approach, you know, tight corners and things like that, they see plenty of what's coming up in front of them. But these are going to look absolutely spectacular shortly when they go out for the night stages. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully the camera picks it up all nice and stuff like that. Probably can't see me at this point. Actually, it looks like you can. But that's Paul and Dan going for stage 7. We're going to go down to the chicane for this stage, hoping to see some glowing brakes and maybe some cracks and bangs, and if nothing else, hopefully we can see that, and I hope I can put that on video too. I think this is where motorsport can be really spectacular, where you start to really see and understand everything that's going on with the cars. Absolutely mega. So we'll see how this goes. This is where I must apologise. The weather came in and it was absolutely throwing down with rain, and it got so cold my hands were numb, and then my GoPro said my footage was corrupted. I was absolutely devastated, and it's taken a few different pieces of software to get this footage back, but unfortunately I did lose everything of the evening. But here are the fireworks that ended the season officially at Cadwell Park, and I captured this footage on my phone. I really hope you've enjoyed this vlog, guys. and I hope I'll catch you this season around the country at some circuits. Please make sure you're hitting that thumbs up and subscribing. Cheers, guys. I'll see you soon.